welcome to the Stash Bash YouTube hop for August. This month we are going to be bashing our stamps, and my husband decided to photobomb my video. He's been trying to photobomb my videos for a while now, and I keep telling him no, 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 and I finally just had to tell him yes, because, you know, it made him happy. Yeah. Alright. Anyway, back to the layout. I decided that for my layout this time around, I wanted to use my Wild Whisper products. I love them. I really love my Wild Whisper products. So I decided that those were the stamps I wanted to play with, and those were the products I felt like playing with for this Stash Bash. So I'm going to do an 8.5 by 11 layout today, just because that was the album where the photo needed to go that I wanted to scrapbook, and so it worked out well. I am going to use my brand new stamp platform. It's from Tonic and Tim Holtz, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. If you have trouble using your stamps, this might be a really, really good investment for you. I cannot stress enough how much I have been enjoying stamping on layouts using this, and you can stamp it on 12 by 12 layouts and 8.5 by 11. You just have to turn them. So I use a brayer when I use my stamp platform, and that's just me. That's not, you don't have to, but for me, I find that my hands and wrists want to hurt when I have to push them or, you know, stamp regularly. So anyway, what I've decided to do is to play a little with these stamps. So I'm inking them up with 2 shades of Distress ink, and then I'm also spraying the stamps with Keep Calm colorings from Shimmers. And the colorings on top of the Distress ink does something really cool. So it kind of like gives it this like awesome watercolory look, and so you have some of the greens and then and it mixes with some of the colors that I used for the Distress ink, and I love how it looks. So first I stamped down some browns, and now I'm going in with some green leaves that coordinate with the stamp. Now I think this layout was only the first or second time I used my stamp platform, so I'm still kind of learning. So if it kind of looks like I'm kind of like fiddling with the magnets, I'm still, at this point, I was still really learning how to use it. I've gotten much better. But every time I use it, I realize something different and do something different with it. So yeah, I have been really, really loving it. I think it's a fabulous tool for a scrapbooker. I know that there's other products that are similar to it, and those would be, you know, perfectly fine for cards and different things, but for scrapbooking, I think this stamp platform is a really, really good thing to have, because you suddenly find that you can, you know, stamp anywhere on your layout, and you can stamp how you'd like, and yeah, it's a really nice tool. I do recommend it. It's a great little gadget. So I'm going to go ahead and continue stamping. I decided that all 3 of my embellishment clusters for this layout would be stamping. So I have the Adventure stamp and the Rooted Love stamp from Wild Whisper, and I'm just using that to create 3 little clusters. And these clusters are colorful and so pretty because of the way that I used all my different inks. I used some Ulta Crisp inks. I used the Columbia ink from Ali Edward, which is my favorite kind of aqua color. I used some Distress, and I used some colorings by Shimmers, and I just really played with the colors and sprayed them on the stamps, and so I really, really like how all the colors blended and how they worked. So I decided that I wanted to do a branch at the top of my page, so I just flipped my page around and I'm doing a branch. That will end up being at the top of my layout. And now I'm going to take this little leaf stamp. So the branch is the Rooted Love stamp, and then the little leaves that I'm adding to the branch are the Adventure stamp set. And so I'm just adding it in all different shades of green, so we have a lovely, lovely little leafy branch. And if you watched my last Wild Whisper video, you saw me take the chipboard pieces that kind of look like this branch and add sequins to it, and I think that you could do that with this stamp as well. It might not have the same kind of dimension, but I think it would really work. And that might be something I try at a later point. So for this one, I'm just stamping. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some layers to the back of my photo, and I'm going to ink everything with Distress ink in Vintage Photo. And then I also decide, so when I do an 8.5 by 11 layout, I find a 4x6 photo can sometimes be too large. And so I knew that I could trim this one down a little bit, and that's what I ultimately decided to do. I'd probably trim, maybe like 1/4 of an inch off of all 4 sides. I think that's what I did. So it's not a lot, and it still is a nice size photo, but it just allows you to have some room so that you can do a 4x6 mat around the photo, and it doesn't seem overwhelming. So I'm doing some layers and putting them at an angle. And then my photo, because I used my stamp platform and I put the stamps, exactly where I wanted them and had my photo there for reference, my photo fits perfectly snuggled in around those stamping elements like I wanted. So I don't want to do a ton of embellishing to this, but I do want to add a little bit more color, and I'm going to do that with some strips and some wood veneer. I'm going to go ahead and use these branding strips and kind of cut them down to create a little bit of embellishment. I don't know, maybe like a banner kind of is what I'm going to do. I didn't like how that one leaf down there at the bottom had stamped out. It smushed a little bit. I had a little bit too much ink on the stamp. So I decided I'm just going to cover it up. And I'm going to use these 2 branding strips that are, I actually think that red one is from Strong and Free, and then the other one is from World's Best. So this is an array of Wild Whisper scrapbooking products. If you've never used their products before, very, very often they all kind of coordinate together, which is how I can just leave them all in a bag, all of my Wild Whisper products, and then I can mix and match them, which I really, really like. So I went ahead and cut a banner. Now I want a similar type of a banner shape up at the top, and I'm going to have to get a little bit creative with that. But right now I know I'm going to use those 2 pieces, and then the next thing I'm going to do is use my handy dandy awesome tool that I also highly recommend, and that is this one, which is the label punch. It's from Fiskars, and I love it, love, love, love it. I think it makes an appearance on, I'm going to say 90% of my layouts, really 90% of them, because it's such a neat little punch. I really like it. Super versatile, super useful. Kind of the way I feel about my stamping platform. So I'm going to go ahead and back my label with green. And apparently so is my favorite word to say today in this video. Sorry for that. I'll try to resist the urge. I'm going to go ahead and add some staples to that label with the date that this photo was taken. And then I'm going to go ahead and use these wood veneer birds. These are from the Rooted Love collection, and you can get them in the Wild Whisper shop as well. And I'm going to place the birds around my layout so that your eye can follow them around the layout, across the photo, and then off the page. And you'll see how I do that in a second. But I think this turned out really, really nice. It gave the layout some dimension. It gave it a little bit of a different texture. And it did turn out really nice. So I'm just going to go ahead and place 3 of those around, and then I'm going to go ahead and glue those wood veneer pieces down with my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive, and then move on to the next part of my layout, which is going to be these gorgeous sequins. So these sequins are made exclusively for Wild Whisper to coordinate with their collections, and the sequins are also mixed and manufactured, or put together by Spiegel Mom Scraps, and so of course they're awesome. So I'm going to cut some strips here, and then I decide that I really want to pull in that red, so I'm going to have to go into my Strong and Free collection of papers because I bought more than 1 pack of those papers, and I'm going to grab the other branding strip that goes with the one at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead, now that I have the 3 patterns of the paper that actually are, prominent in my picture, and I'm going to use those to create the same kind of little border strips there at the top, which just gives the layout a little more color. And I just felt like there was, it needed a little more color. I felt like I liked the neutrals, I liked the wood, thought it was really nice, but I wanted a couple more pops of that red and the aqua. And I'm just going to lay those out exactly the way I did the other one at the bottom. I think I fidget with these a little bit though, because I want, yeah. The one that has the writing on it says, "Let me love you," a little bit longer, I think, and I decided that I had the full quote at the bottom, so I could just do a partial quote at the top with the rest of that branding strip. And the last little bit is going to be to adhere my white cardstock to the back and add some staples to match the staples at the bottom. I'm just going to go through here and grab my paper that I wanted to use as my background. And that will complete this layout. So I hope you've really enjoyed this video today. Be sure to check out below for links to all of the other participants, all the other fabulous girls that are stash bashing their stamps today. You can find their links below, and I'm also going to try to add a little clickable link here at the end of my video. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!